Hey everybody, it's Beth Helvey here with Couture Real Estate. It is Monday, the 8th. I hope y'all are doing well today. It is kind of a muggy, misty, gross day today, but can't be beautiful every day in Florida. So I want to talk to you about multiple offers and whether or not a seller actually has to disclose this. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I was up early this weekend because I'm up early all the time. And I was scrolling through my online social media through my realtor pages. And that's a great thing to do because I oftentimes will find out what's going on in other parts of the country. And that will help me help my clients here in Florida. A lot of what's going on in other parts of the country is that there are a ton of multiple offers. And we've talked about this, that agents are putting their signs in the yard and then they walk back in the house practically and they're dealing with 10 multiple offers on one property. And it's really, really difficult for some of these buyers, especially buyers trying to get their foot in the door as first-time home buyers or buyers in certain price points, which are the lower price points. And we're seeing that a little bit here too. Now, the difference with Florida, especially my area, which is Manatee and Sarasota County, that makes us a little different is the majority of the people who move here from choice. They're moving here because they want to. Now, granted, we have a lot of people moving here now because this is our season. This is when we sell the most properties, and because they're leaving some of these closely packed in kind of states. And of course, some of it is political. This is not a political channel. We're not going to get into that. But the people who are moving here, if they don't find what they want, will go home. They've got a place to live. They can pick up their business or work remotely and then come to Florida. And I'm dealing with a lot of people right now whose kids are in school. They're going to move here, but their kids are remote anyway in their school systems back where they are. But back to what I was talking about. One of the things that I'd seen in discussions on multiple offers in my realtor Facebook pages was that someone had mentioned that in the state of Florida, we have to disclose if there's multiple offers. And I'm here to tell you, that's not true. We don't. This is how this works. A seller has the right to tell their agent to either disclose multiple offers or to not. It is not up to the listing agent. It is up to the seller. The listing agent should take the pros and cons of this and give it to their seller so that their seller can decide for themselves. And there are pros and cons. One of the biggest cons is that people move here out of choice, which means that sometimes a buyer who is buying in this arena may decide that they don't want to get involved in a multiple offer situation. And I've heard this phrase again, where they say, I'm bidding against myself. And a lot of buyers feel that way. True or not is irrelevant. That's how buyers feel. There are certain price points where disclosing that there are multiple offers is actually a benefit because it may drive the price point up. Now, here is what's going on. If you have a listing agent that will automatically say that, they're not supposed to. The listing agent can only disclose this with the seller's permission. So we have to assume that if the listing agent is disclosing this, that they are doing so with their owner's permission. Now, granted, a lot of times they disclose it and they really feel that they are working in the best interest of their seller, and you can't fault them for that, but that's really not how it's supposed to work. Here's where things get tricky. Every time I'm working with a buyer, especially in today's low economy environment, I will ask the listing agent, do you have any offers on the table? And sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. You take the information that's given to you and you work with it as best as you can, and then you take that back to your buyer. The reason we ask that is, of course, because there's low inventory and the buyer needs to know. It is best as a buyer if you go forward with your best price, your best offer, because we really don't know what that is. I'm in a situation right now where the sellers only want to look at the contracts once. They don't want to do highest and best. They just want to have this done with. They're not interested in prolonging this. And there's people out there who don't want to do the back and forth. There also are situations where the seller may be in a position where they decide they don't want to disclose. and there may be multiple offers on the table. And what they might be doing is they might put them all together and then go back to one offer and say, hey, listen, I like your offer, but can we change this? And then they'll go with that person. They can disclose that there are multiple offers on the table, and they can individually negotiate with everybody if they want to. They don't have to have everything out in the open. They can do what they want. Sellers can also call for highest and best and then still go back to a buyer and say, yours is the one I picked, but here's how I want to tweak it. Banks are famous for this. And they can do that. So just because you put in your highest and best in a multiple offer situation does not mean that the seller's not going to come back to you and go, I like your price point, but I need to change the closing date. I need to change the inspection period. I need to change this addendum, something like that. They can still negotiate. Just because they called for highest and best does not mean that they're accepting what's put in front of them. Also, they can call for highest and best and reject all the offers. They don't have to take them, even if they are at asking price or over. If there's something in those offers that they don't like, because it's more than just price, they can reject those offers. They don't have to take anything that's in front of them. They can keep their property on the market. Just because you're offering the property doesn't mean you have to sell it, okay? So these are things to be aware of. Buyers, when you go into a situation, right now it's probably best to assume, especially if you're offering on a property that's within the first few days, that there are multiple offers, okay? There are ways we can find out what the activity's been like and things like that. Go forward with your best offer. This is not the time to say, you think they'll take 10% less? No, it's not. It's not the time for that. Do a really, really good job. I'll do a really good job with the comps. Hopefully your buyer agent will do a really good job with the comps and let you know where you need to come at, because there are people out there who are overpricing their listings. Don't fall for that. Go in with your highest and best offer. Go with the cleanest contract you can. If you can squeeze down your inspection time frame, do so. If you can close sooner, do so. If you can close when the seller needs you to, do so. That's one of the questions we need to ask. Do you need to close in 30 days or do you need to close in 90 days? Because you're moving too. Make sure you have your pre-approval already locked and loaded and it's up to date, and the same thing with your proof of funds. So make sure you go in strong. Sellers, if you're going to do this, you need to be very careful. Make sure that if you're going, thanks, Mike, if you're going to go into a situation where you are going to negotiate with multiple people, make sure you don't actually accept multiple offers. Okay, you have to be very, very careful about that. That is a sticky situation to be in. It can be done. You have to be careful. You have to be upfront, and you have to know what you're doing. Go ahead and call for highest and best right away. It's fine. I'm seeing it in MLS listings. You do not have to disclose that you have multiple offers on the table if you feel that because of your situation, your price point, whatever, you feel it would be a detriment. You do not have to disclose that. Maybe you want to disclose it because you're trying to drive the price up. Whatever the case is, make sure you understand the pros and cons of both. But make sure that if you do have multiple offers sitting in front of you, that you handle each one in a way that you're not accidentally or on purpose accepting more than one offer. You can't do that. Okay, so in a nutshell, just be really careful, my friends, because sellers do not have to disclose that there is a multiple offer situation. Buyer agents are more than welcome to ask. They will ask all day long. Okay, sometimes they're being told yes, sometimes they're being told no. And here's one other little thing that you need to be made aware of before I sign off. When we get a positive answer from a listing agent that says, yes, there's multiple offers on the table, we don't know what they are. They're not supposed to tell us, okay? We don't know what the price point is. We don't know if it's at price, underpriced, overpriced. We don't know if it's cash. We don't know if it's financing. We don't know what kind of financing. We're not supposed to know these things. And quite frankly, the listing agent shouldn't be divulging that information. You don't want to let that information out to the world in case this whole thing falls apart, okay? Listing agents shouldn't be telling you this sort of thing. And there are listing agents that will say, listen, I've got 5 offers and they're all over ask price. If the seller has told them that they can divulge that, that's fine. But they're not supposed to be doing it on their own. And I know there's seller agents out there who think that they're working in their seller's best interest by doing so, but they're supposed to be doing it with their owner's permission. So buyers, when you come to me and you say, okay, Beth, I understand that 123 Main Street has 5 offers. What do the offers look like? Don't know. We're not supposed to know. That's up to you, Mr. Buyer, to put your best offer forth at that point. Okay, so I'll post something in here in this video once I get it uploaded that will point to an article specifically about multiple offers and what a seller can and can't do about divulging that information. But don't think that we have to, because we don't. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a great day. I think today's supposed to be kind of warm. I think we're supposed to be like in the mid 70s or upper 70s, so it's going to be a beautiful day. I think we're going to be overcast today. Can't you tell I'm your typical Floridian? I don't really check the weather. But if you do get the chance to get outside and get some vitamin D, I encourage you to do so. Wear plenty of sunscreen, drink lots of water, and if you have any questions, throw them in the comments or send me a DM and I'm happy to answer them. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.